Welcome to Get Your FRQ On. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to get your graphing calculator to generate a table of values for a given function. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go into your function editor and enter the function you'd like to make a table for. In this case, I have 2 plus e to the cosine x. So when I make a table, it will make that table based on values of this function. Now, in order to get it to make this table, I need to go to my table, which I'm going to get to by going to second graph, and then you'll notice in blue up there it does say table. So I'm going to do that, second table, and now I get a whole bunch of function values when x is 1, this is y of 1, y of 2, and so on. If I want, I can actually go all the way back to the top and start scrolling backwards, and it will get me function values for negative values of x and so on. Now, typically, the default behavior of the table is going to start at 1 and go up by 1, but this is behavior that you can change. So now, if I want to change the way this table presents itself, I can go to second table setup, and I have some options on how this table will present. All right, where do I want the table to start? Well, let's say I started at -5. All right, and then delta table. This basically says, all right, how much do you want the x values to go up by? Let's say I make them go up by 2 instead of 1. And then I go back to my table, starts at -5, and it goes up by 2s instead of 1. Also, I can change the independent variable from auto, which just means it's just going to generate a table, or I can change it to ask, in which case it's going to wait for me to give it a specific x value to check, and then it will tell me the value of the function at that particular x. So if I switch this to ask, notice my table is now blank. Well, it's waiting for me to give it an x value. So let's say I want to evaluate the function at 2.3. Right, it evaluates the function at 2.3. Instead of going up or down by the same amount every time, which you might not want to do, you could just give it different values. Let's say 2.31, 2.311. All right, now I'm not going up by the same amount, but I can tell it exactly where I want it to evaluate this function and then build the table accordingly. So that's how you can get your calculator to display a table of function values for a function that you're interested in analyzing.